He's not going to cost you. He's not throwing interceptions. He's throwing for first downs. They're keeping the chains moving, and he's throwing the ball downfield now more than he's ever thrown it in his past. And he's doing it at a prolific rate in the NFL this year. He's the number one guy throwing downfield. He's been amazing this year.
There's no question about that. And also, I know that the game has evolved. We all know that. But when you take a look at pocket passers, okay, I mean, I'm not comparing, I'm not saying that Jared Goff is the next Tom Brady or anything like that. But Tom Brady wasn't the most mobile guy. Dan Marino wasn't the most mobile guy. Troy Aikman, you name it. I mean, a lot of these guys were pocket passers that stayed in there and just threw darts. And if you look at some of those passes that he threw the other day, I mean, my Lord.
Yeah, some were great. Some were great, and thanks for Kevin. Appreciate it. Some were great and some were not, and yet the receivers made up for it. You had the Josh Reynolds catch that was way behind him, but he made the stab with his hands and turned around and turned upfield, got a few more yards. The touchdown pass to Jamison Williams was not a good pass. Neither were the other two that he threw on that drive. And then there were other passes he made to St. Brown that were just right on the money that you just come away going, wow, I'm so glad he's our quarterback.
Brian, you're on 97.1 The Ticket. What's up, Brian?
Hey. Sorry if I'm being redundant. I haven't been listening all morning.
It's okay.
But what concerns me so very much is these injuries. We can't, we're missing Montgomery, who's easily one of our top three players, and if it wasn't for, he could be one of our top three players. We're thin, and it concerns me because I don't think, missing Montgomery, man, that's a huge blow. It's huge. It's almost as bad as if we were to lose Goff. So I don't know, man. I don't know. We got to find some kind of way to get them. We just need to make it to the bye week.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough without David Montgomery, who doesn't look like he's going to be back particularly soon. Jahmyr Gibbs is a capable back. They were missing Montgomery earlier in the year, and he rushed for 80 yards and almost 5 yards a carry. So he hopefully he is ready to go. They have managed to persevere in spite of a number of injuries on both sides of the football.
And they'll have more.
Which still remains one of the most remarkable things about this team.
Yeah. Next man up mentality has been fantastic. They're not going to go through the rest of the season unscathed. There are going to be other injuries. And you just hope and knock on wood that whatever injuries occur are going to be, day-to-day, week-to-week type stuff instead of being, he's out for the year. We've already had those, and it sucks. But they have gotten guys to play to a different level right now, and it's exciting to watch.
It's Carson Anderson. Hey, by the way, Dan Campbell did join the morning show today at 12:20. Hear the best of what he told those guys. It's coming up next hour. More your phone calls and feedback as well. Are the Lions the best team in the NFC? Do you feel like right now they're the best team in the NFC? Or not the best team in the NFC? Or simply set up to be the most successful team in the NFC? It's Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket.
When you talk about getting a better night's sleep, a lot of people think, hey, you just need to change your mattress out. And sure, that helps a lot, but really it's about a new sleep system. We're talking about a new mattress, maybe an adjustable base, getting new pillows. All that makes sense. So this is what I did. I went to True Sleep out in Shelby, and I changed everything up. Got the new mattress. I got the BedTech BT 6500 adjustable base. It's top of the line. You want to splurge? That's the way to go. It's outstanding. And yeah, I got new pillows to boot, and I have slept incredibly well over the last couple months now since I've got all that in place. I'm telling you, you're going to have more energy. It's going to be better for you. Find your perfect sleep system at True Sleep. They're in Troy, Warren, Shelby, or Lake Orion.
Seasons are very long, and things change throughout the course of the season. If the Lions go to Baltimore and win, it's hard to envision where and if it could go south. Like you're setting yourself up.
Stop. We know there's one.
There's one thing. Yeah, there's one thing. But they are really setting themselves up to have a chance at that number 1 seed that he talked about. A win over Baltimore will go a long way toward helping about that. But even if they lose to Baltimore, the Lions' schedule compared to San Francisco and Philadelphia's is on paper significantly easier. They still have the 5 division games. They still have Denver on the schedule. I mean, they still have some teams that don't look very good, that really could nothing's a punch button win, right? But those are 6 games the Lions have the luxury of playing that Philly and San Francisco don't have.
This is true. I mean, the Bears, and we'll see what happens with Justin Fields if he's hurt for a long term or if he was just out for the rest of that game yesterday. But if he's out long term, that torpedoes what they're trying to build. Takes a big old detour.
Doug Carr, Scott Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. 248-539-9797. A couple things here. Fanatics is having a heck of a sale on NFL stuff. If you want to load up on Lions gear, just saying. I noticed that you got an email, and I'm like, might outfit the whole family.
Oh,
yeah.
Look out.
So if you
get some grid hats for everybody? Is that Fanatics?
No, it's not. Get the knockoff ones from the gas station that say Gert. No, the grid hats are sweet. Kang, what's your buddy's place that sells those?
Oh, Pro Sports Zone in Livonia.
Okay, yeah.
I got you guys the grid hats from
you
them.
did,
Yeah.
and we appreciate it. I just got this email from Fanatics. They already had a sale and then 30% off, and I'm like, you know what? We don't have a deal with them. I'm going to get yelled at by sales, but
I had a buddy call me about 5 weeks ago with a really kind of strange request, and he's like, "Hey, man, I've looked online, and everywhere I look, it's like going to take 6 weeks to order. But do you know anywhere I can get a Sam Laporta jersey?" I'm like, "A Sam Laporta jersey?" My buddy in California, he's like, "Yeah, I got one of my kids' friends is a big Lions fan, and apparently Sam Laporta's gym teacher or something like that is his gym teacher." I'm like, "Oh, okay, some kind of relationship there." But he wanted a Laporta jersey.
okay.
Like, I'll see what I can find. And, I went online, and sure enough, I found something who was going to deliver it a lot quicker than 6 weeks. I'm like, "Well, here you go." He goes, "Oh, my God, I don't know why I didn't see it. Thank you. Thank you very much." And so he went out and outfitted kids with a Laporta jersey and an Amon-Ra St. Brown jersey.
Nice.
I know I go to Gator when I need stuff online.
That's right.
I 100% the first person I think of. But I was wearing my grit hat the other day, and the school bus driver that picks up my daughter or drops off my daughter every day, he's a big sports fan. You could tell. I mean, every day I see him, he's in like a sports hoodie, sports shorts. He's white guy in shorts, by the way, and a sports hat. And he saw
Kenny's your bus driver?
Yeah. And he saw that I had a grit hat on. He commented on it, and he's like, "Hey, did you get that? Are you a season ticket holder?" I'm like, "No." And he said, "I heard season ticket holders get a special grit hat." I'm not sure if that's true or not, but he was all in, and he started talking lines, and I'm like, "You got to go drop off some kids, man. Come on." So I know that'll be fine.
The other thing is the buy-in price in East Lansing for this weekend is $90 for a pair. If anybody's looking to go, that has come down quite a bit. So opportunity for anybody who wants to go to that game. 248-539-9797. Let's get back to your open line calls. That was on SeatGeek, by the way. Juan, you're on 97 on the ticket. What's up, Juan?
What's up, fellas? I was just calling, man. I said, you know what the Lions remind me of this team we got, this run we got going on? It's the early Dallas Cowboys, the 89 through 92 Cowboys. If you look at their progression and their record, they was 1-15, 7-9, 11-5, then Super Bowl. Look at our records, almost similar. It reminds me of that Cowboys team. And another thing I want to talk about is Goff. I don't know why. There's only 2 quarterbacks that have Super Bowl experience out of the top 5 or whatever teams in the NFC, and that's Goff and Jalen Hurts. And he was the number 1 pick. I don't know why everybody forgot, like, Goff was this guy, was the 3rd round pick. He was the number 1 draft pick.
Yeah, because his former coach buried him.
Yeah, he did bury him. And I ain't gonna lie, I fell for it too. I was super critical of getting Goff. Like, no, you think Stafford was bad? You guys cried about Stafford. Wait till you get Goff. And boy, didn't we eat those words. And I just want my last thing. I got a PSA for all the Lion haters, all the shaky Lion fans. If we lose Sunday against Baltimore, it's okay. Relax. All fans would give up so quick. They would throw in the towel so quick. Relax. It's okay. If we lose, it's okay. Don't go crazy. Don't throw everybody under the bus. We're going to be okay. That's all I want to say. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember they are an underdog Sunday.
2.5-point dog a couple days ago. Is it still 2.5?
I'm looking right now. I decided I better look it up before I
3 in some places.
Right? I mean, so they aren't expected to win. I mean, are we at a place where we should be pleasantly surprised if they win?
Are we upset?
We upset that they're not favored?
I don't even care. I'm looking forward to the game. You know, Sundays are fun again, man. You don't go into it with dread or with just hope. It's like there's an expectation now with this team for the rest of the season here. Start off 5-1. You know, the one loss they had came in overtime. This is a competitive football team. This is a good football team. This is a team that is having to go through their depth and what the front office has done to assemble all this talent, and they're showing it with how they've been coached up. I love this team. This is a fun team to watch.
It is, and it's funny because when one game ends, I immediately start looking forward to and doing work on the next one, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, let's get to next Sunday. 248-539-9797. We go to Ethan. You're next on 97 on the ticket. What's up, Ethan?
Fellas, thanks for taking the call.
Sure.
I'm about to sound really ADHD on this phone call, but please just hang in there with me.
Fair enough.
Number one, I just want to say I'm sorry, Brad Holmes. You re-signed Alex Anzalone, and all of us kind of went, and that looks like an absolutely fantastic re-signing and at a very good price.
Yep.
Alex Anzalone is flying across the football field, making incredible plays, and he's there to help, bring these younger kids up. So kudos to him. Number two, I think that when the bye week rolls around, I will not be surprised one bit if Jared Goff gets his contract. And guys, I know the number is going to make people want to throw up. That is what happens in the NFL. He's going to be, if you do re-sign him, if he's not the highest paid quarterback in the league, he will be number 2. So that number is going to be disgusting, and everyone's going to hate looking at it. But listen, I begged 2 years ago. I called into your guys' show. We had a conversation about this. I begged, please let me want to re-sign Jared Goff when his contract is coming up. That would make this trade absolutely unbelievable. That has happened. So I really do think it's time to re-sign him, because at the end of the season, he's only going to cost more money.
I'm curious of what it is going to. You say you might be the top paid quarterback when all is said and done. I tend to think that's not the case, but I think he's going to be perhaps in the $50 million a year range. He does have some limitations, and he is not getting younger, but he's not old. And what he lacks in, speed and mobility, he makes up for with his football acumen and his arm.
If he signs for $50 million a year, that would be the fifth highest annual value for the quarterback position in the NFL, behind Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, and Jalen Hurts. And it's scary because the next three are Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and Deshaun Watson. And they're owed a lot of money.
Yes, they are. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I imagine that the contract will be mostly guaranteed, if not all guaranteed. If you want to, chop a year off, then you're going to have to guarantee perhaps the whole deal. But
here's what's interesting. Goff just turned 20. Did he just turn 29?
Just turned 29.
Okay, all of these top contracts, the one that is the most punitive, it looks like, is Russell Wilson's. He signed when he was 33. Burrow signed his at 26. Herbert, 25. Lamar Jackson, 26. Jalen Hurts, 24. Kyler Murray, 24. Deshaun Watson, 26. Mahomes, 24. Allen, 25. Daniel Jones, 25. Like, there's not –
Daniel Jones.
I know, right? But he's getting $40 million a year. It's not –
It's money well spent.
It's intriguing because he's 29. 29,
yeah, he's the elder statesman of the group.
Yeah, he would. There's Russell Wilson who signed his at 33, and that contract looks like it could be crippling for Denver.
What is Kirk Cousins going to sign for in the offseason?
Yeah, Cousins 33 right now. Stafford at 34 signed a contract extension that paid him 40.
So I don't know where look, it's up to Jarrett, right? If he wants to, he could hit the open market and get north of it, right?
I mean, the truth is, pay him. They're going to have to pay him.
Yeah.
But what's going to be interesting is what he's older than almost all the other guys in the top 10. So that might.
He's already had.
He doesn't get the years.
Well, he's already had a big payday.
Yep.
With the current contract he's on. Now, by today's standards, it's not. It's half the payday that he would get. But does he love this team and want to be part of it and want to pull a Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers and take less so that they can re-sign players? I don't know. He seems. I don't know how to read him, but if I were to take a guess, I would think that you could get him for less because he's a team guy and he's made money and he knows this contract is going to pay him a ton of money. But do you have to get the $55 million, or can he come in at $45 to $50 million?
I don't really believe very often in hometown discounts, but if it's a discount, I don't think it's going to be much.
Yeah, it's gonna not. He's a $50 million plus quarterback right now.
Yeah,
I mean, first of all, he has a year left after this year, but teams want to lock it up because they don't want to continue paying that tax. The tax is he keeps playing better, just like the caller said. You're gonna pay more. So at the end of this year, if he continues to play this well and they win a playoff game or two, or even go further, he's $50 million plus, and the discount is gonna be minuscule, and you have to pay him. You do. And 29 is not ancient at all. Guys want to play till their late 30s now. So
it's not ancient. It's interesting though when you look at how few quarterbacks, I guess, that are in their 30s that have played and won a Super Bowl recently. It's all these guys in their early 20s that are doing it, with the exception of Tom Brady.
The best that Dan Campbell told our morning show today at 12:20, 97.1. Doug Harsh, Scott Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Open lines, 248-539-9797. Let's get back to your open line calls. We go to Ed. You're next. What's up, Ed?
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Ed, how are you?
Good, man. Gator, I called specifically to talk to you. Remember before the season when I called you and said we'd go either 12-5 or 13-4?
I don't, but I'll trust you.
Okay. Look, and I told you, maybe you'll remember this, that we're getting ready to go on like a 70 Steelers runs in terms of organization. You remember I said that to you?
Vaguely. Sure, I'll go with it, Ed.
Okay, look, Goff is morphing, man. When you look at him in his interviews and when you look at him in front of the team, he's doing something I saw Brady do, and I don't want to put that bug on him. But look, he's internalizing all the negative energy that has been spewed towards him, and he's just showing you.
Yeah, I think he's played with a chip on his shoulder, to be sure. I thought he was a really good quarterback with the Rams, and I think the coach gave up on him. I think he went into some tough times, and when he was traded here, he had to kind of rebuild his confidence, and they've done that, and he's been fantastic.
I want to say one more thing. This morning, when the other guys talked to Campbell affirmed what I've been seeing by saying, hey, look, this dude is still learning. Yeah. It shocked Campbell that this was happening. So, man, pay attention to that dude because everybody's looking for that special guy. Goff's the only one that's been to the Super Bowl, and he's got a chip, man.
Well, he was so dismissed, Ed. I mean, the fact of the matter is,
I had him at 12 wins before the season.
When he came, yeah, you did. But when he came to Detroit, he was not. Very few people thought he was the answer. On the show, the only one that said, let's see what Goff is. And it was Gator, okay? Gator was the only one. You might have been the only one of the station. And I'd want to say it's because you were like smart and savvy, and it's not. It's because you hate Sean McVay so much that you wanted to make this about an indictment on Sean McVay more than faith in Jared Goff.
Well, that's I don't know how true that is. I mean, is it true that I don't like Sean McVay? Absolutely. But one of the reasons the main reason I don't like Sean McVay is because I think he chewed up and spit out Jared Goff well before he had to, and this is proof that this is true. There was plenty left in Jared Goff, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for Jared Goff. That's on McVay. This is why McVay is, I think, not on my list.
He did win a Super Bowl, and
he did. Yeah. Well, Stafford comes to that team, and he was perfect for that team for that year. Stafford perfect for him now?
He's perfect for him now.
Is he?
He's for the
Rams? Is Stafford
no,
perfect?
not for the Rams. No, I thought you meant for the Lions.
Jared Goff is perfect for the Lions.
Jared Goff is perfect for the Lions. Yes, he's perfect for the Lions, and he's dealing. He is. I mean, I want to keep the O-line together. I want to keep Ben Johnson. I mean, right now, I still think other teams probably look at the Lions receiving core and do they strike fear into them? The individuals? I mean, Amon-Ra probably should. And
if they watch film, Jamison Williams will.
Well, that Brian Baldinger breakdown today, we might have to play the audio from it because he had the camera zoomed in on the stop route that J-Mo couldn't make that diving catch of that ball that was underthrown. Probably should be a better throw, and it probably should be caught anyway. But when he put the brakes on, he created like 7 yards of separation.
Yeah, when he puts when he hits when he stops the route and comes back, there's 3 yard separation. He comes back another 2 yards. At the same time, the defensive back loses his footing because he is just totally fooled, and he slides back another couple yards. I mean, it ends up being like 5 total, but for a split second there, it looks like 7 yards of separation. And it's because that speed has got to be respected. And teams will look at game film, and they're going to see that, and this is the effect it's going to have. You've got to respect that speed, which is going to open up things for other receivers and other players, and it's going to open up the run game a little bit. And it's also going to open up things for Jamison Williams because he's getting that kind of separation while running simple routes, and it's exciting.
J-Mo, just put your head down, keep working, keep getting better, because he could be the thing that could take this offense to an elite level. It's really, really good right now. It is really good. Jared Goff is really doing a great job. And Dan Campbell has made it clear they're not in the position to be bringing players along as much as they're just trying to win. But, so this guy's got to earn everything. Like, if he's out there playing, it's because he earned it.
They're winning games, but they only scored 20 points. They only scored 20 points on Sunday, and that's below their average. And for an offense that we think is as outstanding as it is, you'd like to see more scoring, and I think that'll come. But it's also a pretty good defense they went against. So, Gator, I don't know if this will mean anything to you. Ivor Robeson just died at the age of 83. Mm-hmm. Do you know who Ivor Robeson is? I believe so. Was it Robeson or Robson? He's the
could be Robson.
The British guy?
Yes.
For the British Open?
Yes.
He was one of the voices, like play-by-play voice or commentators for British Open.
He is the iconic British Open first tee announcer. So he was the one that would say, now on the tee from USA, Tiger Woods, and the place would go crazy. But he had a very distinct delivery, which I'm not an imitation guy. But I used to love listening to him just announce golfers.
Joe Hatton.
Yes, exactly. He had a very, very distinct announcement. So that's sad. Just 2 days after Suzanne Summers. So yeah, there's that. 248-539-9797, 1220. The best of what Dan Campbell had to tell the morning show. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Hey, get ready. Keep the NFL season going with a great week, because right now all customers can get a no-sweat same-game parlay for Thursday night football. Just place a 3-leg same-game parlay on this Thursday's game, and you get bonus bets back if you don't win. That's right. Same-game parlay is a perfect way to combine your bets for the best chance at a bigger payday. Build your own or choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. Visit FanDuel.com/Doug so you don't miss out on your chance to get a no-sweat same-game parlay on America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Michigan. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Maximum refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems, call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Jeff Darlington, ESPN reporter, tweeted out a video last night of Lions fans just going nuts after the game. And he tweets, I've seen a lot of opposing fan bases make noise for a team after a win, but the Lions might have topped them all today. Or as Jared Goff said to me as he left the field, are you seeing this? Best fans in the effing league. Peter King estimated there were 25,000 Lions fans.
Wow. I mean, that's wow. Yep. What is that, a third of the capacity there? That's amazing.
Yep.
I mean, I thought they'd travel well, and I know that you already got a bunch of transplanted Michiganders down there in the state of Florida and go to Tampa to see the Lions play when they're good. It doesn't surprise me that there'd be a lot, but that number,
yep,
that's a big estimate.
Yep. Doug Hart, Scott Anderson, 97.1 a ticket. Open lines, 248-539-9797. And some Red Wing talk right out of the gate. Talk some Lions, mixed in some Urban Meyer, Michigan State stuff. Now we've got back to Lions, and you're going to hear from Dan Campbell, the best of what he told the morning show. In a minute, back to your phone calls. John, you're on 97.1 a ticket. Hi, John.
Hey, good morning. Afternoon, actually. So I have a question, but I just thought something first I'll mention to you. Earlier this year, I think in April, who's the guy the Lions got from the Eagles, the cornerback? What's his name again?
C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah. Yep. So when they got him, I was like, man, they're really doing some good things here. And I actually got my taxes back, about $3,000 back. So I don't gamble at all, but I opened up a account on whatever those sites, FanDuel or whatever. I bet $500. So if the Lions win the Super Bowl, they have to win. I'll get $13,000. So I just thought I'd mention that. So I actually put my money up, but the reason I was calling was because, Gibbs and J-Mo, right? I was thinking, like, man, these guys are really skinny, and then Gibbs got hurt. I'm like, man. So I just wonder, like, what do you guys think about these guys getting hurt just for the future all the time? Just your opinion.
Well, Dave Montgomery is not skinny at all, and he got hurt. I'm not sure that, like Tyreek Hill just had a I guess those were just cramps.
Yeah.
I think it's early to call either of them injury prone. Jamison Williams had a knee event and then a hamstring. If stuff continues.
Hamstring's going to happen when guys are speed guys.
Yep. And Gibbs has a hamstring too, right?
His is a hammy, yeah. I don't think it's an ankle, so it's a hammy.
Yeah, and he's played in 4 of the 5 games. I'm not worried yet. It's not like DeAndre Swift, DeAndre Levy territory. I guess I'm glad neither of them are named DeAndre.
Oh. Well,
the thing annoying about Jahmyr Gibbs is you kind of moved on from a running back who was often injured, and now Gibbs is getting dinged up. And it's way early in his career. You can't make any, definitive statements on him being injury prone, but DeAndre Swift is healthy right now with the Eagles, ironically. Yep. And Jahmyr Gibbs is not. And they're going to need Jahmyr Gibbs because Montgomery looks like he's going to be out a couple weeks. And I have full confidence in Ben Johnson, that offensive line. When Jahmyr Gibbs had this suit up, it was against the Falcons, where he had to play. He had 17 carries. He was the bell cow, as you will, right?
Yeah.
He averaged 4.6 yards a carry. He can do this. They drafted him to be the explosive guy, but if he has to be the guy who gets 15 to 20 carries a game, he can do it.
The other thing is, you get where you're a full-time football player, you have a chance to get your body more prepared than when you're a student athlete, and you can mock that all you want, but guys are still growing. They still, when you're a full-time player, you can dedicate more time to that. You're being paid, more is expected of you. You probably do more work in the weight room and more with training and diet than you do at the collegiate level, even though you do a ton there. Don't get me wrong. What you come in the league as at 21, you probably look a lot different at 24, 25. So, all right, so we got the Campbell sound ready to go, correct? All right, so this is from this morning. Dan Campbell, we like to play the most interesting stuff he told the morning show. And we've referenced it a few times. The listeners have referenced it a few times. It's about Jared Goff and the fact that he is not done growing as a quarterback. When the topic of Goff came up, here's what Dan Campbell said. seeing the field. He talked about him seeing the field. So there's a few things here. Knowledge and experience, right? You're around the league. You know how to prepare more. You do a better job scouting defenses. You know when you look over a defense what you're going to get. You probably know where the soft spots in the defense are before the ball's even snapped. All that comes with knowledge and experience. But teams still try and disguise stuff. And I think Jared Goff, and I don't know how you measure this. I don't think you can. But I think it's what made Tom Brady great. It's the ability to quickly process information. You have to have some of the physical tools, but the one thing that's measurable that I think at each level is one of the challenges, how quickly do you process information and then are able to act on it? Because those that do it the quickest clearly give themselves the best chance of success. And I think Jared Goff is turning out to be pretty damn elite in his ability to process information quickly and act upon it.
I agree with you. I think that's why I said earlier with football acumen, and he's got an arm, and those are two things to put them together, and you're going to be successful. And I think he understands the game very well. I think when you talk about Tom Brady, he's the GOAT in terms of quarterback play, and the number one reason why he's the GOAT is because his intelligence. He knew exactly what the coverages were. He knew his own playbook backwards and forwards, knew all the routes everybody was supposed to run, and knew where to throw a ball. He was throwing to spots. He didn't have to wait for the receiver to break to get. He just knew, hey, he's going to be open. I'll throw it there. Boom. Mm-hmm. And to get to the line of scrimmage, and you watch the quarterback when they get to the line of scrimmage, and you see that they're surveying the field. They're doing that for a reason. They're not just doing it to kill some time in a clock. They're trying to figure out what the coverages are, where they think the heat's going to come from. They got to, work with the center and call out the protections and all that. There's a lot to it.
Yep.
There's so much to it. And on top of that, you have to have not just the play that was called, but then you have to know what your audibles are in case you got to check out of it because, this play is not going to work against this defense. It's a very cerebral game when it comes to the quarterback play. It's not just based on talent. You have to have what's between, the ears to really make it work and take it to a different level. And I think that's part of what's gone well for Jared Goff.
All right, next up, again, Dan Campbell speaking with the morning show. They've done a lot shorthanded. How do you get it done this week against Baltimore if you don't have Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs? Here's what Dan Campbell said. So there's a couple things here. Again, he said all the stuff at the end. We'll find a way. Everybody says it. Everybody says the same stuff when it comes to injuries. It's just so rare to see a team that really, truly executes it at such a high and proficient level when guys go down. I mean, they've won all these games by double digits. But two other things stood out to me in that soundbite. One is he didn't rep that play all week. When's the last time he practiced it?
Yeah.
When you hear that, it blows your mind when you hear that he didn't practice that all week. So they call it in the huddle. I want to know when the last time in practice that he had to execute that play, because it's third down, screen pass. He had to make some people miss, get a first down. That's really, really insightful. And then the other thing, Gators, when he said he does that all the time, the block, he does that all the time. Does he? That's a hell of a thing to be doing all the time in practice, annihilating people.
Right, exactly. I mean, the play was just, it's great. And Kang said yesterday, I agree with him. I think that play epitomizes why this team is where they're at. Because when the moment comes for you to shine and do your job, it doesn't matter if you're the starting player or if you're the guy who was just called up from the practice squad. You've got to answer the bell. And he did. And he does consistently. And so does everybody else in this team. They have tangible evidence that you're going to be thrown into a situation and you're going to have to perform, and these guys do it, which is awesome to have those examples at the ready just to show this guy, hey, look, whether it's Maurice Alexander, as he's talking about potentially coming up a wide receiver to play some running back, or if it's Mo Ibrahim, if he gets called up this week to play, hey, here's your opportunity. You got to make the most of it. You know the playbook, right? We're going to put you in a position. You better know. And they do. They respond.
Everyone's doing what they can to help the team win, and it's crazy because that's a culture thing. Yeah. I mean, you're right, Doug. Every coach says it. Next man up. Next man up. What's that mean? It means do your job and help this team win. And everyone on the team is on the same page. At the end of the day, they're like, we're 4-1, we're 5-1. They just want to keep rolling these wins. Everyone's doing whatever they have to. Craig Reynolds is no exception. Amon-Ra St. Brown, no exception. Everyone knows their role. They do their job, whatever it takes to win.
Okay, a couple more things here from Dan Campbell that we will get to shortly. Can you comment on the turnaround your defense has made? And do you talk about things like the number 1 seed? Hear what the head coach of the Lions had to say next. 97.1 The Ticket. Michigan State coming up this weekend. Just a reminder. Let's all be adults. Let's all be adults. Okay? Everybody behave themselves. Just have a good time. Talk amongst yourselves. I like to say when I was a parent, a hockey parent, when my kids played hockey gator, became apparent to me that interaction between fans of two hockey teams, youth hockey teams, wasn't very healthy. And I thought, as a general rule, my rule was the only thing you say to the parents of the other team is before the game, you say good luck, if you're going to say anything at all. And after the game, you say good game, if you're going to say anything at all. In between, there's a lot of non-productive interaction. That's a penalty. No, it's not. And I was like, are we really arguing about penalties on 10-year-old kids? And do you think that the ref's going to listen to the debate amongst the parents and then take in all the information? Anyway, my point is, talk amongst yourselves. If you talk amongst yourselves, generally things will go pretty well. So
Yeah. Well,
I'm encouraging that.
hockey parents. Huh. Yeah, they're special.
Hockey parents,
They can be, but they're not all like that.
Not all
But,
of them, of course not.
but there are certainly more than a few that ruin it for everybody else. And it's like that for I think, most sports. I think where the parents get bent out of shape is where they see a collision and they think that somebody else's kid deliberately hit their kid.
Tried to hurt them.
Yeah. And then they lose their stuff
Yeah.
about it. And then it can get out of hand.
That I can understand, though, because you're protecting your kid.
Yeah.
So you could be overprotective, of course, but I think it's the protection and safety of your child. The one where you think your kid's the next Sidney Crosby.
That's different.
That's different. And then you think that the refs out there are NHL quality refs. Okay?
Yeah.
That's different.
Yes. This guy's making $40.
That was offside. That was so offside. Look, dude, we don't have the lasers here.
Yeah.
There's no camera on the line. We're not looking at the tablet and the coach's challenge on this one.
We're not calling Toronto.
Right. There's two of us out here. We're both out of position.
Back to
My bad.
Yeah. A great line a ref once told me on a Sunday afternoon basketball league. When I complained about a call, he turned to me and he said, "Look, you're not going to the NBA, and neither am I." And he walked away from me, and I'm like,
Fair
"Oh,
enough.
yeah,
All right.
he's got a good point. Yeah, we both suck." Anyway, back to the original point. Everybody behave themselves. You'll be glad that you did. 248-539-9797. All right, more from Dan Campbell, as we said, the head coach of the Detroit Lions, who joined the morning show. We'd like to play the highlights. How about the turnaround the defense has made? A year ago, one of the worst in the NFL, and this year, statistically, and starting to play like and look very much authentically like one of the best in the NFL. Here's what the coach had to say about it. Cam and Jerry Jacobs, I mean, this is not supposed to be what you're doing, but you're doing a great job of it, and you are getting better while doing it. And, he had a rough game against Seattle, did not have a rough game against Tampa. And then the bigs in the middle. Talk about guys like Buggs and McNeil. Look, without question, there was some regret about who the Lions didn't take in the draft. And, there's more than one way, one path to success. But if the guys that they have in-house are getting the job done, then it kind of renders that point moot. Like, yeah, you could have had maybe a better player in the middle of the defense, but if these guys are getting the job done where you are turning out to be one of the better rush defenses in the NFL. And statistically, again, the top rush defense in the NFL is where they stand right now. What does that say? It says that you knew your guys had a chance to do it. You didn't have to spend a high draft pick, because ultimately this is what you hope to get out of getting an elite defensive tackle, is something like one of the best rush defenses in the NFL, and that's what they got.
Yeah, they do. They have the best rush defense in the NFL. Number one. It's been spectacular. You go through individual statistics, the Lions don't record a top tackler until you get to number 34. Alex Anzalone, literally number 34. He's 34 in the NFL in tackles. Quarterback sacks, Aiden Hutchinson I believe he's 14th in the NFL in quarterback sacks. You go to interceptions. Jerry Jacobs is tied for first with his 3 picks. Quarterback rating against. We know how good the rush defense is, but how good is the pass defense? I did the research last year and said the last 10 games when we went 8-2, the quarterback rating against was 80. It was 79 point something for the last 10 games.
Which would put them amongst the best in the league.
For the entire season, it was 94.2, which was not. It was one of the worst.
Right.
But for the last 10 games, they stepped it up. Here's how they've done in 2023. The quarterback rating against through the first 6 games is 79.6.
It's gotten even better.
Yeah, it ranks 8th in the NFL.
Honest to God,
and it's been the quarterback rating against in the last 3 games is 70.
There's so many encouraging trends, so many signs that this team's one of the best in the NFL, and now they're starting to get talked about it. They're starting to get talked about as one of the best in the NFC. We mentioned the power rankings earlier. I'm sure everybody wasn't listening, but CBS, top 3 in the NFL: Kansas City, Miami, Detroit. ESPN goes San Francisco, Kansas City, Miami, Philly, Detroit. The Athletic goes Miami, San Francisco, Detroit, Philly. Sports Illustrated, San Francisco, KC, Philly, Miami, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Detroit. The Get Up guys on ESPN, who's the best team in the NFC? Dan Graziano said Detroit. Like they're getting this kind of love, and it's not. I mean, it might be a little bit hot takey to be moving off of the Philadelphia San Francisco thing. That's not even the point. They've entered the conversation. The Detroit Lions have entered the chat.
And they've been really good on the road. Quarterback rating against on the road, 68.2.
They're not road games, Gator.
Right, they're not.
I mean,
they're not. And it's against, at Tampa, at Green Bay, and of course at Pat Mahomes. and it's 68.2. It's amazing what difference a year makes, or what a half year makes. When you look at the last half of the season last year going into this year. I mean, these last 16 games or 17 games, this team is unbelievable.
248-539-9797. One more from Dan Campbell. Do you talk about things like trying to be the number 1 seed? Here's what the Lions coach said. I mean, I'm not surprised that he's not trying to look too far ahead. It's interesting, though. He really focusing on winning the division. And maybe that's not putting the cart before the horse. Maybe the whole seed thing will take care of itself if you just win the division. Maybe you get later in the year and he says, all right, now's where we really start to fuel the motivation with things like number 1 seed.
Well, the thing that's exciting is that they can win the division early, like way early. And then you start looking at things like number 1 seed and how important is it to you at that point.
This feels like dangerous talk.
It
man.
is. I don't feel comfortable doing this. And yet
but
this team has been so good.
If it were Green Bay at 5-1 and the Lions at 2-3 in second place, I'd be saying, how do we become a wild card? Right? That's what I'd be saying. Now it just so
Only have
happens
one game against Green Bay left. Damn it.
we are playing the role of the Green Bay Packers for the last 20 years, it seems. 248-539-9797. I saw some funny complaining on social media.
Oh.
And I'm like.
Funny, haha?
Funny, ironic.
Okay.
We'll get to that today at 12:50 on Carson Anderson, 97.1.
Well, it's a big football weekend coming up Saturday night. You know the game. Michigan is a 24.5-point favorite at Michigan State. Earlier in the day, though, Western Michigan is a 16.5-point underdog at Ohio. Don't forget about that one. 1 o'clock Sunday, pro football. Detroit, 3-point road dog against Baltimore. The over-under in that one is 42 points. And you can bet more than the score at the Playgun Lake Casino Sportsbook app. Bet player performances for passing and rushing touchdowns, and even more than that. It's the only app I use and recommend. Download the Playgun Lake Casino app right now, and all your favorite casino games are right at your fingertips as well. Bet on college and pro like I mentioned. Odds, bets, slots, and games right in your pocket, right at your fingertips. The casino comes to you wherever you are in the state of Michigan. Have fun, get in on all the action. Play with a live dealer on your phone. Enjoy blackjack, roulette, baccarat. Great offers right now, too, for new users. Download the Playgun Lake Casino app on your phone and get up to $1,000 cash casino bonus back if you're down within the first 24 hours. The Playgun Lake Casino and Sportsbook app. It's your time to play. New users only. Casino bonus must be wagered. Terms and conditions apply. See website at playgunlake.com for details. You must be 21 and in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117.
Seasons are very long, and things change throughout the course of the season. If the Lions go to Baltimore and win, it's hard to envision where and if it could go south. Like you're setting yourself up.
Stop. We know there's one.
There's one thing. Yeah, there's one thing. But they are really setting themselves up to have a chance at that number one seed that he talked about. A win over Baltimore will go a long way toward helping about that. But even if they lose to Baltimore, the Lions' schedule compared to San Francisco and Philadelphia's is on paper significantly easier. They still have the 5 division games. They still have Denver on the schedule. I mean, they still have some teams that don't look very good, that really could. Nothing's a punch button win, right? But those are 6 games the Lions have the luxury of playing that Philly and San Francisco don't have.
This is true. I mean, the Bears, and we'll see what happens with Justin Fields if he's hurt for the long term or if he was just out for the rest of that game yesterday. But if he's out long term, that torpedoes what they're trying to build. Takes a big old detour.
Doug Carr, Scott Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket. Open lines, 248-539-9797. Just a reminder, we're streaming with video on twitch.tv and YouTube. Both ways you can take in the show. Participate in the streaming chat. Go to twitch.tv, search up 971 The Ticket. Also go to youtube.com, search up 971 The Ticket. Also the Odyssey app, download for your mobile device today. Gator, I used it today. I was a little bit late, missed the Dan Campbell, went back with the Odyssey app.
There you go.
Yeah.
You were right here. You can do that. But you can do it anywhere.
Yep. So Odyssey app, you can listen to the show anywhere in the United States or Canada.
If I lived in Eugene, Oregon,
you could use the Odyssey app.
That's great.
Yes.
It's great to know. If I lived in Laramie, Wyoming,
Odyssey app.
Truth or Consequences, New Mexico,
Odyssey app.
Oil Trough, Texas,
Odyssey app.
Love it.
Yep. So feel free. Medicine Hat, Odyssey app.
That's Canada.
Yeah. Oh, it worked for me in Canada.
There it is.
Anyway, you can stream to our website as well, 971theticket.com. Back to your phone calls. We go to Robert. You're on 97.1 The Ticket. Hi, Robert.
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Good.
I wanted to call and just talk a little bit about how the Lions' success, and believe me, I'm so excited for them, and I'm really happy. And I watched the first game in 1975 at Tiger Stadium, so I've been through it all. I just want to make sure that, and I'm thinking that Dan Campbell's probably telling the guys the same thing. Hey, we really haven't won anything yet. Yes, we're doing awesome with the injuries we've had, the way that the team has been playing. It's been awesome, but they haven't really won anything yet. So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves a little bit.
Robert, yeah, you're right. We can do it. They better not. Like, we're allowed to fantasize wildly irresponsibly. We can do it. It doesn't impact reality as long as they don't do it.
And I don't think they will. Like I said, I think Dan Campbell, he's been doing an awesome job. Those guys will run through a brick wall for him, like everybody says. And they're getting the national recognition that they deserve. I'm retired, so I watch all the shows. I watched the one this morning with Don Graziano picking the Lions to be the best in the NFC, and I believe it, to be honest with you.
Yep.
And I wish them all the success in the world. And if they go to the Super Bowl, my God, this town would just go absolutely bonkers, and I would be there right then with them. So, but little caution to the wind. Just take it easy, one game at a time. I know it's a cliche, but it's probably the truth.
You're talking to the team. We are not going to do any of that.
No. I'm enjoying this. Gonna enjoy this ride, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Sunday. Look forward to next Monday night.
We're printing shirts and planning parade routes over here, and is it irresponsible? You're damn right it is. Is it wild fantasy at this point? Yep. Do we know better? Of course. Are we going to stop doing it? Nope. This is uncharted territory. We don't know what to do with our hands.
What was the stuff we would hang out the windows when the Red Wings were playing really well?
Those flags? The gas station flags?
We're going to do the same thing for the Lions?
I mean, I've seen some of them around, but those things kind of came and went. Aren't they pretty annoying when you have them up in the window? And
I think that's a Red Wing thing.
All the time?
I think it's a Red Wing thing. Lions got to come up with something different. I mean, we've never been here before, so it's going to be different no matter what they come up with, right?
That's true.
We never celebrate. Doug, you said it all say it all the time. It's like a new job.
Yep. This
Talking
is like
about
a new job.
A football team that's a legit football team in contention, a legit football team, an organization that knows what they're doing.
Wanted talk show host to talk about a good football team.
Before the pandemic, we've been doing this show, all three of us, for a long time.
Yep.
I thought we talked about everything. Anything you could possibly talk about, sports, non-sports. And then the pandemic hit. I'm like, oh, my God, this is the one thing we haven't talked about. No, the other thing is a good football team. Right. Two things we have never talked about in like the 15-plus years is pandemic and a good football team that we actually believe in. We've done it all now, guys.
We've done it all.
Hey, Doug, I just saw this ad. Kang, you might be interested. Maybe we can take the show on the road here. Apparently, there's a radio station out there that will talk about a good football team, and it's here in Detroit. Huh.
Never done that before.
We should look to apply there.
That's nuts.
Let's get together a tape.
It's hilarious. 248-539-9797. Gator saw social media complaining because Ohio State, Penn State is a noon start. Like Ohio State fans, Penn State fans want it to be a night game.
It should be a night game.
And I'm like, we'll trade you.
Yes. That should absolutely be the night game. I mean, where do they
interested?
where do they get the biggest ratings? From a game that would be at noon, or is it a game that's going to be at 7:30?
I don't know that matters as much in college football on a Saturday. Might be the night game, but I'm not sure.
I mean, you're going to get a bunch of people tuned in at noon.
Yep.
But I imagine that the bigger ad buy is for a night game.
Yep.
It's too late, isn't it? They're not going to change.
No, it's not. I'm going to be down at Schembechler Hall later today. Yep. I will put a formal request in.
Oh, I'm glad you're doing it now.
Yep. 248-539-9797. Anyway, I thought it was ironic. Dan, you're next. Hi, Dan.
Hey, Doug. What's going on, man?
How you doing, sir?
I'm well. So shout out to the Odyssey app. I listen to you guys. Hey, hater. Sorry. I do it all the time. I listened to you guys all yesterday from Sandwich, Massachusetts. I'm back in Ann Arbor right now, but
wow.
I was straight. I was in Cape Cod and hanging out. So yeah.
Awesome.
Just say hi to Earl out there.
Who's Earl?
Earl of Sandwich?
Who's that? Oh, no. Oh, right. Yeah, that's the town I think is even named after the guy. My kids and I went through this for about 6 rounds of what is Sandwich named after. And, right. Yeah, that was the thing. All right.
Hold on. Let me just be clear. We'll give you your time.
Yeah.
Hear what he just said. My kids and I did that. And Gator couldn't resist, and Gator did that.
It's multi-generational humor.
No, you're a child.
No. No. Why is town named Sandwich? It was like they giggled every time. I mean, they couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
I tell you. So I lived through that '99 Rams season where they got a quarterback that seemed to like fall as a meteor, like Superman, out of the earth, and was playing like the best quarterback in the NFL because he was playing that way. And I feel like Lions fans, and you guys were sort of just talking about it, don't be afraid to enjoy the moment. The moment has happened. The team is that talented. You don't win. You don't go 5-1 in the NFL unless you got the talent, unless you got the coaches, unless you got the schemes to do it. And the Lions have it. Ben Johnson stayed with this team for a reason. He was smart enough. David Tepper, I'm sure, threw more money at him, and he turned down millions of dollars to coach Carolina. And he's here for a reason. And I got to enjoy that '99 Rams season, and including that, both eventually went in the Super Bowl with my dad, who I lost recently. And they're the best moments that I can recall of enjoying championship, amazing football with him. And I think people in Detroit are going to get to experience that. And so, don't throw cold water on it. Don't.
Right.
Just embrace it.
Yeah. No, we kind of are. And I mean, look, I joke about us being irresponsible. Thank you for the phone call. I joke about us being irresponsible. All we're doing is engaging in talk that the national media is doing. Right? They're not afraid to talk about it.
Nope.
They're not afraid to discuss whether or not the Lions are one of the top 3 teams in the NFL. So it would be ridiculous for us to avoid it. They're not afraid to talk about the Lions being a Super Bowl contender. So why would we be afraid of it? Embrace it. Let's live it up. I mean, is it scary a little bit? Is it feel uncomfortable a little bit? But at the end of the day, if people with national credentials don't think it's fool's gold, then we have the license to do it as well. Look, when the Lions are average, we try and find a path to them being good. When the Lions are bad, we try and find a path for them to be average. Now that they're good, we're trying to find a path for them to be great.
Well, and for people that are concerned that the Lions would read their own press clippings or maybe get their egos inflated and all that, this is why I said yesterday, one of the benefits of winning the game against Tampa Bay was that there were plenty of mistakes made out there to keep them humble, to keep them honest, to see that, you know what, we broke down defensively on this play, and thankfully it was Baker Mayfield that was throwing the ball and not somebody competent because it would have been a touchdown on several plays. We got to tighten that up. Okay, we got to tighten that up. We're going into Baltimore. It's a very good team, very good defense. We've got to take care of our business. plenty to work on during the week, and it's been that way after every game. They haven't played the perfect game. Not even close.
What the hell's so funny back there, Kay?
No, I'm just loving the fact that he just takes direct shots at Baker Mayfield. It's like, you think Dan Campbell or Aaron Glenn goes to the team and goes, listen, Baker sucks, all right? But this week we're playing a good quarterback. You know, like they don't do that. They just say,
the hell they don't.
He just goes, guys, we got away with one because Baker sucks. But this, we got to clean it up.
You know that comes up in a conversation while they're watching game film and they see Mike Evans is wide open here and it's just, guys, look.
They say,
hey, man, look, let's be honest. If that's anybody but Baker Mayfield, we're looking at 6 points we just gave up, guys. Come on. Come on, man.
Carson Anderson, 97.1 the ticket. Jeff Darlington, ESPN reporter, tweeted out a video last night of Lions fans just going nuts after the game. And he tweets, I've seen a lot of opposing fan bases make noise for a team after a win, but the Lions might have topped them all today. Or as Jared Goff said to me as he left the field, are you seeing this? Best fans in the effing league. Peter King estimated there were 25,000 Lions fans there.
Wow. I mean, that's wow.
Yep.
What is that, a third of the capacity there? That's amazing.
Yep.
I mean, I thought they'd travel well, and I know that you already got a bunch of transplanted Michiganders down there in the state of Florida and go to Tampa to see the Lions play when they're good. It doesn't surprise me that there'd be a lot, but that number,
yep,
that's a big estimate.
Yep. Doug Harsh, Scott Anderson, 97 won the ticket. Gator, the power rankings. I found one where Detroit is 29. 29th.
Is it reverse power rankings?
No, it's the NBA.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
According to Zach Lowe, we come in at 29th. The Pistons do.
What are there 30 teams in the NBA?
That is correct.
That
is correct.
They better not be 29th.
The other thing is, they last played a game Thursday. Last Thursday.
Yeah.
Did you see when their next game is?
Yeah. It's Thursday night. It's ridiculous.
It's like a week off in between preseason.
I don't understand this at all. And they played last Thursday. They played in Montreal.
Yeah.
What the hell? King, you're a basketball guy. What the hell?
You guys missed the open practice they had at LCA?
I mean, the preseason? You're taking a week between games in the preseason?
Seems a little odd.
Dude, the hell?
The hell. Feedback coming in. You guys say Goff is a $50 million quarterback. I agree, but only here. Who else would give him that? Goff probably knows this. Steven Lansing. I don't know, man. I think Jared Goff, I think teams that I think Atlanta would love to have Jared Goff. I think the Arizona Cardinals would love to have Jared Goff. I think Seattle might love to have Jared Goff. I don't know. But it's a good question. I mean, free agent at his age.
He's not a free agent at the end of the year, though.
No, he's 2 years away,
Yeah.
right? Well, a year and a half away. That's a
Think
good point.
Pittsburgh would like to have Jared Goff?
Yes. Belichick?
The Buccaneers? Right, Gator?
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah.
Kidding me? Of course they'd love that.
The funny answer, of course, is the Rams. Jared Goff, 5 years, $250 million, fully guaranteed, heavy on the back end, so we can keep adding. Chris in Novi says Goff has another year in his contract, and the Lions have him under control via the franchise tag for another 2 years after that. They also have a lot of big contracts coming up with Hutch, Brown, and Sewell. Goff may not love it, but the right play for the franchise is to play out these 3 years and see if you can find a young quarterback to replace him after that. No, Goff probably wouldn't love that. That's as accurate an assessment as there has been.
True. And they do have a quarterback that might be returning to practice soon.
And Hendon Hooker.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Kang, he experienced something that I experienced a lot. But he's a relatively young father.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 kids in college. He's got 2 kids just kind of starting out. Got a 3rd kid in high school. And
Hey, don't forget about him.
I know. I will not do that. No, he's getting all the attention these days.
Yeah.
All the good and all the bad.
All the bad.
When he messes up, he has our full attention. And when we sang his praises, we got a nice email from his physics teacher.
All right. Way to go. Nice job, buddy.
Yep. But
I like that kid.
I know you do. He's the one that probably is the most like you.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway, Kang did something that a lot of parents have had to do for their kids, and is your thought never again?
Yes, never again.
You're not gonna, so what if your child expresses an interest, like, no, I really want to do this more?
I'm really going to steer them the other way.
Just not going to let it happen.
I know, this is so mean.
Selfish parenting. What do you got? What's going on?
This is a little interesting. So, well, first of all, when it was over, did she express a desire to do it again?
It was even keel. It wasn't good or bad. She didn't say anything about not doing it again or doing it again, so I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay. Care to venture a guess as to what it was, Gator?
I think I sort of know, so I
Okay,
don't
then never
want to
mind.
spoil it.
Yeah, all right. I would take 10 texts, but I don't think we should do all that. Explain to the people what your daughter was invited to do and why you never want to do it again.
Oh, as anyone knows, when you have little kids, you have a lot of little kid birthday parties you have to attend. And there's always like a theme or something like that. And this theme this past weekend was ice skating. So we went to a little girl's ice skating birthday party. Mm-hmm. My daughter had never been ice skating before. So you have to go to the counter and everything's taken care of. You got to go get skates, and all that stuff, the size. They're like, hey, do you want figure skates? Do you want hockey skates? apparently the ice hockey skates are more stable, so we went with those and had to try to find out the size. Went through two.
Did they have
of them.
double-bladed skates?
I don't think so. So we got the ice hockey skates for my daughter, and then comes putting on the skates. This is the part I will never do again. Are you kidding me? Like, listen, I don't want to sound like John Tesh, but the hands, man, my knuckles, they can't withstand this. Like, parents do this.
Yeah.
Oh God,
all the time?
do parents do this?
So they gave
do
me
it
all the time.
Do parents do it at 5:45 in the morning?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Like, you know how to tie your own damn shoe. Go for it.
this is different.
I
This
know,
is-
dude. I know it is.
Yeah.
I'm just joking with
Yeah.
you. I know it's different. I've seen it firsthand.
They
It's
give me
brutal.
the tool and everything, that little metal, like, what is that? Yeah, the hook. Because, you can't do it with your hands unless you're some kind of mutant.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, so, but if you don't appreciate your hands, I guess you can. But no, I don't. I'm not a welder. These things, I push buttons. Okay, that's it. So I'm tying these skates, and it's just like, are you kidding me? And
Where's Velcro?
yeah,
It's
where are the Crocs? Do the Crocs have
Seriously.
skates?
it's amazing. How difficult it is, how hard it is to crank those skates. Because ice skates, to give your kid a chance to be able to learn how to skate, the skates almost have to be uncomfortably tight.
Cut off
Yes,
circulation
right?
tight.
I mean,
yeah.
like Paul Coffey was a story. He wore like a 10 and a half shoe and a 7 skate.
he
Now,
would-
skate sizes are smaller.
He just went barefoot. He did. He would put the skates on barefoot. He would wear smaller skates so that it would just be as tight as hell on his
Now,
feet.
I was a 12 and a half shoe and a size 9 and a half skate. Like, so skate sizes are different, but I think it was 9 and a half. But whatever the point is,
Humble brag there with 12 and a half shoe. This guy.
Yeah,
is that a brag?
Kind of.
yeah.
I thought it was
is.
big hands that you wanted to brag about.
Well,
Big
you got
feet
those too.
too.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good point.
Doug's like, yeah.
Anyway, though, it's the worst. Like, and I got to the point where I tied my kids' skates for so long, the calluses built up on my hands, like the sides of my pinky had like blisters. And the thing is, when the kids, they have to do it forever before they are capable of doing it on their own.
Right.
And I think that every hockey parent, I mean, it's like your kids getting a driver's license, being able to drive themselves to practice. When they can tie their own skates, that is a game changer.
Game changer.
An absolute game changer.
Otherwise, stuff that comes out of your mouth is uncensored.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you.
I'd rather change diapers.
So if your daughter comes back and says, "Dad, I want to play hockey," the answer is going to be what?
Absolutely not.
No. Have you tried tennis?
Have you tried?
Golf.
Honey, we talked about this. You don't want to
Golf
play
is
hockey.
expensive, man. Golf is expensive.
I'll pay for it.
All right.
I'll take out a loan. I mean, I can't. These skates.
Don't you want to be a gamer?
Yeah. When's a normal age where they do actually are able to do it? Like, you have to have some strength.
I think my son quit when he was either 11 or 12, and he never tied his own skates. He
Really?
does now. He's back playing. That's
Your
the only-
oldest?
Yeah.
He stopped playing when he was 11 or 12?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he played much later.
I don't think it was later than 11 or 12. But anyway, yeah, to the last game he played, I was tying his skates.
Is it because you wanted to?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes. I've never been more sure of anything I've ever said in my life.
Was he like, Dad, you got to tie my skates?
It was he couldn't do it. Wow. That you have to crank those things. So
I get it.
It's
the
insane.
worst.
I remember.
I felt like such an idiot, Gator. Like, because it was during like a hockey tournament. Saturday morning, there's hockey tournaments going on. Everyone's watching me like an idiot. I'm like, they're like, look at this guy probably. And I'm just like, please help me.
Somebody else want to do this? I'll pay you $5 to this. I remember when I was in elementary school. I don't even think it was middle school. It was in elementary school. I went to go watch one of my friends play hockey.
Mm-hmm.
There were like 3 kids in my entire class that played hockey. That was it. So I went to go watch my buddy, and he's like, "Hey, can you help me with my skates?" I'm like, "Sure." So with the person who's tying the skates already, it's a little weird because you're facing the person. So it's not like you're the one, what you're used to tying it. So it's a little backwards on it, but it's the same concept. But it looks weird because you're backwards. But for me to try to tie his skates when I'm like 10 years old, as soon as I get done doing it, I'm sure the coach is like, all right, here we go.
So the thing about it has nothing to do with, just so people who don't understand, it has nothing to do with the tying of the knot.
No.
It's you have to go through every eyelet.
Yes.
You have to crank it as hard as you can and then go to the next one and pull and pull and pull. And it's the worst. I don't even like doing it today for my own skates.
How do you like taking them off?
Not nearly as bad.
It's not nearly as bad, but it's still bad though, because now you got to loosen them all up.
I mean, you already hate your life, and so you're just like,
King, how about swimming?
Yes. Yes. Let's go swim.
It's a skill you need for the rest of your life.
It's a life lesson.
That's exactly it. And you can be competitive at it.
Life skill, yep.
It's Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket.
Hey, so you guys have heard me talking about what my favorite bourbon is to drink lately, and it's no doubt it's Flying Ace Spirits bourbon. I've been drinking it for over a year now. I love it. They've got something going on there. It's the right flavor. It's delicious. It's part of the Coppercraft family. It's made in Holland, Michigan. You know that it's quality. It's delicious. It has hints of vanilla, ripe stone fruit as well. It's so smooth, you're going to want to come back for more. And listen, you're getting ready for some big tailgate party that may or may not take place on Saturday afternoon. Do yourself a favor. Make everybody happy at the tailgate. Don't show up empty-handed. Bring a bottle of Flying Ace Spirits bourbon with you. It's really going to put smiles on people's faces. It is amazing. There's nothing pretentious about Flying Ace. It's just real approachable American-made whiskey for the maverick at heart. There's no gimmicks at all. And listen, at just $30 a bottle, Flying Ace Spirits is not going to bust your budget at all. Drink it however you want. You want to do shots before the whole evening begins? Go ahead. You want to sip it? You want to drink it neat around the rocks? Have at it. You want to make it with a mixer like ginger ale or cola? Go ahead and do that. It's delicious. Follow at Flying Ace Spirits on Instagram and you can stay up to date on all of their upcoming releases. And as always, please drink responsibly and never drink and drive. you see that Ryan Day is saying that all of his players should be back from injury this week?
Good. I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah.
I mean, that game, Ohio State, Penn State, like this is, must-see TV, and the Big Ten schedule is it's. I think there's a lot of teams in the Big Ten we expected to be more than a little bit better than they are, and so there's a lot of waiting around for these late season matchups. And here's the first one, and
it's a big.
Penn State, Ohio State is huge. Down in Columbus at the Shoe, Ohio State coming off an injury-riddled game they played and won at Purdue pretty big. Penn State's been rolling. They've been rolling.
Yeah, but Ohio State gets Ibuka back. I would imagine that's one of the players. He says they're all coming back. Travion Henderson, the running back.
Yep.
So they're going to need them all because Penn State, they're playing outstanding football right now. They haven't really played much of a schedule. Stop me if this sounds familiar with a lot of the teams right now, but it doesn't matter because this is the big game.
Yep.
It's a massive game between those two teams. We'll learn a lot about which team is maybe a pretender and which team is good. Looking forward to that game. That's clear your schedule type stuff for Saturday afternoon.
Feedback coming in. Coach Squirts made the mistake of not allowing parents in the locker room. I tied 12 sets of skates 3 days a week.
You let them in the locker room after the first day, right?
You change your policy.
Yeah.
Unnamed texter also started tying my own skates when I was 8. Coaches told our parents we need to learn. When I was a kid, my dad used duct tape around my ankle to keep the skates tight for that reason. Damn it, Kang, you used wax laces and wrapped it around your hand and you pull them tight and then they stay tight and you don't have to try as hard and then you're not being that awkward skate pull user guy. I'm helping you. That's from Jilly at work.
Wax laces, huh?
Yeah, we did the wax lace thing, but you tie them on so tight that you have to loosen them to get them off. You can't leave them tight forever.
Well, of course. That's why I said getting those skates off can sometimes be a pain in the ass, too.
I played hockey forever, and I still break a sweat tying my skates. That being said, no self-respecting man uses a tool.
Well, I won't be doing it again. Don't worry.
248-539-9797. Bridge, you're on 97 on a ticket. Hi, Bridge.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Yeah. So, we get a lot of respect and accolades and whatever you want to call it from the national media and the NFL and everything. But this weekend I got a first-hand taste of what other fans think about our team. And I'm talking about the team out west. I was in San Francisco this weekend. Had to catch a red-eye flight back to Detroit on Sunday.
Yep.
And I had my Lions jersey on. And when I was in the security line, these 3 guys, the security guys, one who tells you what to keep in your pocket and what to take out of your pockets, and the other one who watches the x-rays, and the third one who watches the scanner when you go walk through the scanner. All 3 of them got into a conversation with me about the Lions and how good we were doing and this and that. We went back and forth, and I was thinking, hey, these guys are supposed to be doing security checks, not talking about the Lions. And so when I said, hey, we might meet you in the NFC Championship game, and one of the guys gave what sounded like something like between a grunt and a groan. So I didn't think he was, too pleased with that prospect. And the second guy flat out said, no, I hope you don't.
Wow.
So that's the respect.
So
he's a 49ers fan.
This was after the 49ers had lost and the Lions had won, right? Yeah. Well,
it's a red eye. So the 49ers lost and the Lions had won, and so there's probably that combination had gotten to them, and they were saying, I hope we don't. And then I get on the plane, and we land at 5 o'clock, and we walk out the door, and the captain is standing by the cockpit, thanking people, for flying with them. And he looks at my jersey, he says, did the Lions win yesterday? I said, yes, they sure did. They won handily. And he said, I had to sleep because, he was flying the plane. I'm glad he did.
Yes, no kidding.
You don't want to.
It's not while flying, but yes.
Yeah. But he slept through the game.
So
we're getting a lot of respect.
Flight attendant standing. Sorry?
Go ahead, Bridge, real quick.
The flight attendant standing next to him says, Yeah, they're 5-1 now, and your Bears are 1-5.
Oh.
Apparently, they were the Bears fan.
Wow.
The pilot was.
Like the cheap shot. Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that it never bothered me because you can find Lions talk here if you live in Detroit, and now with the Odyssey app, you can find it anywhere in the country. You're not locked into their local radio, and so we're glad to welcome those people aboard from around the country. But yes, if respect is what you seek, you're finding it. 248-539-9797. Mark is next on 97.1 The Ticket. Hi, Mark.
Good afternoon, Doug and Gator.
What's up?
It's about lacing up skates.
Ugh.
So many years ago, I was coaching over at Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and USA Hockey brought in ADM, and I had 56 young kids that I had to help lace up their skates and get them ready and get them on the ice.
That's no good.
No.
That was tough.
I mean,
and I did let the parents in the locker room.
Yeah.
If I want to help, if I got two hands.
It's
and mine, I was a little bit older. I had a surprise. So my young man I was probably 25, 30 years older than everybody else.
And you were still lacing up the skates. It's enough that scared Kang away. He doesn't want his daughter to ever enjoy it ever again.
Can you imagine kid number 28 in that line? That kid doesn't have his skates laced up, right? I'm sure he just bowed out at some point and just started going yeah, you're good. Next.
Yeah.
Perhaps darts. Cornhole. Right?
Ooh, cornhole.
Yeah.
Pickleball? Pickleball's big now, right?
No, not pickleball.
Let's go to Tom. You're next on 97.1. Hi, Tom.
She's 4
now. Hey, what's up, Doug? Gator?
Hey.
Yeah, I remember, my parents put me into hockey when I was young. I learned how to skate when I was probably 7 years old, and then when I was 8, I got into a hockey team. It was a squirt division. We played our games at Royal Oak Kimball, and then my parents sent me to a hockey camp. And tying your skates, it is an art. It's the laces are so long, and I remember a lot of people doing it for me, but then I got to learn how to do it myself, and it's you got a double wrap. It's just to keep your ankles secure. It is crazy.
It is crazy.
Just to learn how to tie your skates.
It's funny because my guess is at the NHL level or well before that, when people start to play real hockey, the idea of somebody else tying their skates is probably offensive. It's probably something that real hockey players are I'm not letting anybody touch my skates because
I was a 9-year-old kid. I was I'll let somebody do it for me.
Yeah, well, and I thought you loved your daughter.
It's like that Meatloaf song, man. But I just can't do that.
Do anything for love.
Yeah.
All right, Lions quarterback Jared Goff. Guys getting it done. Craig Reynolds block, J-Mo's catch, all things. You hear Jared Goff talk about next here on 97.1 The Ticket. Seasons are very long and things change throughout the course of the season. If the Lions go to Baltimore and win, it's hard to envision where and if it could go south. You're setting yourself up.
Stop. We know there's one.
There's one thing. Yeah, there's one thing. But they are really setting themselves up to have a chance at that number 1 seed that he talked about.
They
A win
could.
over Baltimore will go a long way toward helping about that. But even if they lose to Baltimore, the Lions' schedule compared to San Francisco and Philadelphia's is on paper significantly easier. They still have the 5 division games. They still have Denver on the schedule. I mean, they still have some teams that don't look very good, that really could nothing's a punch button win, right? But those are 6 games the Lions have the luxury of playing that Philly and San Francisco don't have.
This is true. I mean, the Bears, and we'll see what happens with Justin Fields if he's hurt for the long term or if he was just out for the rest of that game yesterday. But if he's out long term, that torpedoes what they're trying to build. Takes a big old detour.
Jeff Darlington, ESPN reporter, tweeted out a video last night of Lions fans just going nuts after the game. And he tweets, I've seen a lot of opposing fan bases make noise for a team after a win, but the Lions might have topped them all today. Or as Jared Goff said to me as he left the field, are you seeing this? Best fans in the effing league. Peter King estimated there were 25,000 Lions fans there.
Wow. I mean, that's wow.
Yep.
What is that, a third of the capacity there? That's amazing.
Yep.
I mean, I thought they'd travel well, and I know that you already got a bunch of transplanted Michiganders down there in the state of Florida and go to Tampa to see the Lions play when they're good. It doesn't surprise me that there'd be a lot, but that number,
yep,
that's a big estimate.
Yep. seasons are very long and things change throughout the course of the season. If the Lions go to Baltimore and win, it's hard to envision where and if it could go south. Like you're setting yourself up.
Stop. We know there's one.
There's one thing. Yeah, there's one thing. But they are really setting themselves up to have a chance at that number one seed that he talked about. A win over Baltimore will go a long way toward helping about that. But even if they lose to Baltimore, the Lions' schedule compared to San Francisco and Philadelphia's is on paper significantly easier. They still have the 5 division games. They still have Denver on the schedule. I mean, they still have some teams that don't look very good, that really could nothing's a punch button win, right? But those are 6 games the Lions have the luxury of playing that Philly and San Francisco don't have.
This is true. I mean, the Bears, and we'll see what happens with Justin Fields if he's hurt for the long term or if he was just out for the rest of that game yesterday. But if he's out long term, that torpedoes what they're trying to build. Takes a big old detour.
Jeff Darlington, ESPN reporter, tweeted out a video last night of Lions fans just going nuts after the game. And he tweets, I've seen a lot of opposing fan bases make noise for a team after a win, but the Lions might have topped them all today. Or as Jared Goff said to me as he left the field, are you seeing this? Best fans in the effing league. Peter King estimated there were 25,000 Lions fans.
Wow. I mean, that's wow.
Yep.
What is that, a third of the capacity there? That's amazing.
Yep.
I mean, I thought they'd travel well, and I know that you already got a bunch of transplanted Michiganders down there in the state of Florida and go to Tampa to see the Lions play when they're good. It doesn't surprise me that there'd be a lot, but that number,
yep,
that's a big estimate.
Yep. Hey, hold on to your glasses because we got some exciting news in the world of vodka. Stoli Vodka, the iconic brand known for its exceptional quality and rich heritage, they've just unveiled a stunning new bottle design that's sure to turn heads at your next gathering. The new Stoli Vodka bottle is a true work of art. Its sleek and modern silhouette reflects the brand's commitment to innovation and premium craftsmanship. But it's not just about the looks, it's what's inside that counts. Grab a bottle today, experience the spirit that's captivated the world for generations. Stoli Vodka. It's the taste of excellence. Cheers. Feedback to the Carson Anderson inbox. Out of all the 5-1 teams in the AFC and NFC, the Lions have the best win and the second best loss behind Kansas City's loss to the Lions.
It's true. That's true.
That's hilarious. It's from an unnamed texter. Hey guys, this week's game just feels like a game the Lions might lose. It depends on the running back situation, but I'm worried about Baltimore. I mean, you kind of should be. They're favored. John Kalamazoo says the Detroit Lions are the best team in the NFL because they're the only team in the NFL not to have lost a game in regulation. That's one way to look at it. I don't know if that's a direct if-then statement, but sure. Rich Working Home says this is 100% based on a hunch, but I feel like Branch could have gone against the Bucks, but they held him out to be sure he's able to go against Lamar.
Well, I wonder that myself. Like, if we were in the playoffs,
right?
How many of these guys are active? I mean, does David Montgomery say, "I'd give him the shot," or whatever it is? You know,
yeah, would Nick Chubb go? Right? You know that.
Well, wait a minute. That's totally different. But yeah, with these other is a serious thing to deal with. Not as serious as some other injuries, but I would imagine it's probably a pain management thing more than anything else. But also the fear of making it worse is the number one thing you got to look out for. But these other guys, a hamstring tweak, you know, would you play through that? Would you not? I don't know. If it's the playoffs, it seems like things are different. But fortunately, you don't have to worry about that right now. Right now, it's just about being healthy enough to play the next week if you can. They've got a 5-1 record. They got a comfortable lead in their own division. I think it's going to be really tough for them to win on the road again at Baltimore. Baltimore is a really good football team, and they've got a tall task, which is to stop Lamar Jackson. A guy can really just flat out take off and go and really punish you if he gets outside the pocket.
Let's get back to your phone calls. Dwayne, you're on 97.1 The Ticket. What's up, Dwayne?
Not much, guys. Thanks for taking the call.
Sure.
Hey, I was down in Florida. I actually got a chance to go see the game